Hello and welcome to this Operational Services Division training video. My name is Matt. I'm an instructional designer with OSD and I'm here to introduce you to getting started on learning how to create reports in CLM. In a moment, we'll meet Mike Phillips, who has been a part of creating the reporting functionality in CLM. He's going to take you through the details of running reports. CLM offers many ways to search, sort, and manage information through its reporting capability. Standard reports are easily accessed with a variety of sorting criteria available. This video demonstrates how to access, modify, and save CLM standard reports. This demonstration begins on the CLM homepage under the Sourcing Manager role.
There are a number of canned reports or pre-built reports that are available in the system. And in fact, your homepage is one of those reports. The role I'm playing at the moment is the sourcing manager. So at my fingertips are shortcuts to sourcing strategy documents I have in process, bid packages I may have in process in various statuses, and all other documents available within my organization, along with some calendar menus. These calendars and these tables you see here, these are reports that run in the background. So the default view we've offered to sourcing managers, like I said, quick access to documents that may be of interest to you, and other milestone events. So there may be a master blanket expiring, and you'll see those dates pop up on the calendar. Vendor contract expirations will also be highlighted red within your calendar, a number of those, in this example, expiring on May 31st, 68 of them. And bid amendment deadlines. So those may be other items within your purview that you're monitoring or want to be cognizant of, and we've provided these reports as shortcuts to go ahead and access in-system information. A lot of users may want to create reports and take their data elsewhere, maybe download that into an Excel document or summarize that information in a Word file or a PowerPoint presentation. So we'll start to demonstrate that today.
This next section demonstrates how to view and run pre-published reports that are available to all Sourcing Manager and Contract Manager users. Results may be emailed, downloaded, or accessed directly in the CLM tool.
So, across the top here, you'll have access to the Reports link, and you'll see a sub-menu pop down that reads My Reports. In the My Reports section, you will have access to a number of, as I mentioned, pre-canned or prepared reports. My user has access to 81 of those different items at the moment. You'll notice they each have a title with a descriptive name that should help articulate what that report would offer. The created by, you may see a system administrator name here or other users within inside OSD's support team who have prepared the reports. The form type that they report against. This is pretty important in my estimation. So there's contracts, package documents, bid packages, sourcing strategies. Form types essentially relate to the type of document the report is tailored for. So we have sourcing strategies within CLM. Bid packages also, and vendor contracts. Those are our three kind of primary documents within the system, and each report would be tailored to offer information from one of those form types. In a further description that is somewhat repetitive of the name, but you may see some variations depending upon how the author named and described their reports. If we wanted to, for example, find contracts expiring in the next 30 days, we can search for contracts expiring within the next 30 days through the filter menu. You'll also have the option to view the report contents. That would be its title, description, and the criteria used to prepare the report, along with the fields that will be available for download, and you can go ahead and view the report. So if I wanted to take a snapshot into looking at contract records which have a status of executed, meaning in service today, that have an end date, which comes up in the next 30 days. That's been prepackaged and made available for me. The available fields from the vendor contract have been mapped over from the left-hand panel you see here to the right-hand panel, where it will display the record ID number, the form number, the display name, the contract type, the description, the effective date, end date, renewal, and status. Towards the bottom, there are some advanced features to format and/or prepare your report for delivery. This report has been set up for just on-demand run, so you can log into the system and run this at any time. It's not on any pre-scheduled date time. So by selecting preview at the lower left-hand corner, you'll be presented with all of the records within your organization which meet the report's criteria. And the report criteria again here was contracts that are executed and due to expire in the next 30 days. So we'll see within this end date column, we're looking at a large number of agreements due to expire May 31st, 68 in total. You can go ahead and use this form number hyperlink to edit or navigate to the individual contract record to review the record or make any modifications, maybe begin an amendment, and you'd also be able to download the output here. All the columns you see, the display name, the supplier, the contract description, the contract type, and the effective dates plus renewal options are all going to be part of the report output. From here, you can go ahead and download the report from the download button, bottom center of your screen, and pick the file type you'd like to download as. CSV is available, XLS is available, and XLSX. So go ahead and select that format, and the file will download into your downloads folder or wherever you've programmed your web browser to save files you've downloaded from the web. Back into CLM, if you may choose to download and save the report, or you may email the report along to any other system user that you could look up from the address book, or you can go ahead and enter the email address of any non-system user, so anybody else in your organization or you wish to share the file with. Would be required to provide that email address and also a subject. We'll call this contract report. You can put text, please review my report. And this Excel file would be sent along to the recipient named here. You'll get a pop-up message indicating that the document or message has been queued for mail delivery.
CLM provides simple steps for building custom reports from scratch if the prepackaged reports don't meet your needs.
In some instances, you may find that the prepackaged or canned reports may not meet your needs. In that instance, you're welcome to go ahead and create your own report from scratch. To do so, select Reports, My Reports, and from the bottom of the screen, select New. Here you'll be provided with the option to define your report, set the search parameters, set the applicable fields you wish to report against, format the report, set up any email or delivery options, and go ahead and tailor this report to your needs. So we'll build a report today that will help us identify contracts in progress. You'll notice after I've entered the name, which is a required field based on the asterisks you see here, the same description will pop in down below, but I could tailor this name to my work. Contracts in progress for training. You'll see that these names can be different, but that the name will originally copy into the description box. In the search section, you'll need to select form. A common form would be a contract, a bid package, a contact, a master blanket record, a package document, and also sourcing strategy documents. You can run some reports against other fields, but these would be the primary form types we would recommend. So if I want to search all contracts which are in a status of search against all contracts based on status. I can start typing in the word status and I'll be able to get to status. I'll have the option to set the condition where the available conditions on text strings are is, at least, at most, in between, greater than, less than, not between, is, one of, other than, and isn't. So you'll have to, set these parameters depending upon your requirement. My example I'm walking through here is that I am looking for contracts that are in the status of is one of these options. So this ellipsis here in the values section for some items will offer you a selection list where these are the various statuses that a document could live in or reside in while in process within the system. So for this example, I don't wish to report against expired or executed or items in negotiation or items in approval. I really only want to see items that are in draft mode. So these are contracts where I'm adding dates and terms to. I'm preparing documentation to go out for signature. So I want to report against all contracts I have in draft. So my second condition I would add is a date parameter. I'd like to search for or report on contracts that have a create date that is greater than April 30th. So when searching in the values section, I'm provided with relative dates where I could have counted back 1 month from today, 2 months from today, plus or minus. I can also go into the future if my use case so needed. I can also set it to go back years, weeks, days. Or I can pick a specific date from the calendar. So my example was I'm looking for all contracts that are in draft status created after April 1st. So I can pick that exact date on the calendar. The next set of information I'd add in is within the fields section. So I've gotten my search criteria straightened away. I have status is draft, and the create date is greater than April 1st, 2024. In the fields section, now I can begin adding all the fields from the document that I'd like to see within my report. So I'd like to see the agency that owns the document. I'd like to see, these will be all listed out in alphabetical order. The contract name is included here. I can also grab the contract manager name and email. I can select multiple options by selecting the field and the control key on your keyboard to select more than one field at a time. We can send those over to the selected fields using the move right arrow in the center of the screen here. So now I've added 5 fields onto my report. The form number will default onto the report. Agency is the agency who owns the contract name, the contract manager, the contract email. And then I'll probably go through and add also status. This will help me verify that I have indeed pulled all items that are in draft status. And I'll have to comb through the remainder of the list for other applicable fields. Document number is very common with inside CLM. That is really your contract reference ID. So I want to make sure that that is available. The display name will be the supplier. And I think I'm happy with this for our example. I will also go ahead and add in my contract dates. The effective date, the effective end date, we'll go ahead and add those in. We'll also add in our option dates. The optional end date, the option duration, the option period, and the option start date. This will help give me an idea of all the contracts I have in draft. When will they begin, and what are the named options to go ahead and renew and or extend that contract. From here, I'll go ahead and select Save. This will save my work, provide me with a report ID that I've named Contract in Progress. Now I have a report available and saved in the system for me. At this point, I've added search criteria. I've added fields onto my report. So now I'd be ready to go ahead and preview the result. This will provide all of the columns you saw listed out: the contract name, the owner of the contract, the description, the vendor assigned to the contract, and start to list out any applicable dates that have been recorded in the system for the initial term, plus any renewal options that exist in the future. If I'm happy with this report, I don't have any other changes to make. It is saved and ready for use. I can go ahead and download the report, email the report, just as we'd seen before. And I'll also go back and demonstrate how we could go ahead and put this on a recurring email schedule. So for instance, if I wanted to get this report on a weekly basis, show me all contracts that are in a draft status that were created after the 1st of this year, I could take the existing search criteria, leave that as is, leave the field section as is, and in the destination section, I'd go ahead and verify that my email address has been listed here. In the top section, I would go ahead and flip the interval off of on demand and maybe on to weekly. If I pick weekly, I wish to receive this report every Friday. So I'd pick interval is to run weekly, the when is to run every Friday. And all reports within the system do run on the overnight, so it would be 3 a.m. that this report would go ahead and run Friday evening, as I've requested here, and would be sitting in my mailbox available for me to view at open of business my day on Friday morning. So I'll go ahead and save those changes. So now we'll be able to verify that the interval has been set up as weekly. It'll run every Friday. Like all of our reports, it would run at 3 a.m. and be delivered to the destination that you've placed in the recipients area here. So you can have multiple recipients. Go ahead and add those by adding rows, placing those users on the to line, the CC line, or the BCC line of the message. The subject of the message can go ahead and be tailored, and the body of your email can also be modified to your liking to introduce or to identify what this report represents.
My list provides a subset of reports available to the logged-in user. These pre-published reports appear in every user's My List page. Note that while a user may add new reports to this area and remove self-designated reports from My List, these reports cannot be removed. In this section, while providing a summary, we will demonstrate how to add a report to My List, which functions much like a favorites list.
In summary, I now have prepared a report for use on an ongoing basis. I had called my report Contracts in Progress, so I can filter or find that item very easily. And I even have one setting I had forgot to enable to give me yet another shortcut for this report in the future. And actually, one call out, you'll see that I'm not permitted to edit or modify the report in the top row here. That was created by somebody else, but I can go ahead and edit or modify my report, which is indicated here by the sheet of paper with the pencil. So I can go ahead and update. What I neglected to select before to give me a shortcut back to this report in the future is the My List checkbox. So as you saw, when I first created this report, it now will show up amongst all reports that are available to me. Selecting the My List checkbox here and Save will place this report onto a short list of reports or favorites that I have. You can navigate to My List from the top menu, My List, and here are 3 common reports that I have prepared and saved as part of my list. So rather than sometimes navigating through the full library of reports that are available to the user, if you have reports you've created for your use, save them to My List. It should be a time saver in the future. In summary, we'd like to teach you that reports have been prepackaged. Canned reports are available within the system. We do think that they will be helpful, but also realize that they may not meet the demands of all users. So hopefully through this video, you've realized that you can run the canned reports, you can go ahead and create your own reports, and you can go ahead and modify or build off some of those prepared reports by using the copy forward feature and then modifying the parameters. Best practice advice, if you do go ahead and create any reports on your own, do add them to My List as a shortcut for use in the future. And if you are using the email feature to deliver reports on a set schedule, please keep in mind those would be delivered, that a utility runs across the system each night at 3 a.m. for any scheduled reports for that day, that week, that month, and they'll be sent out on that timetable. There is also the option to go ahead and run your reports on demand, which we demonstrated, and that may be suitable for a lot of uses. If there are questions beyond the basics we've taught through this tutorial, please reach out to the OSD Help Desk. They'll be happy to help answer any questions and/or assist with report creation or modification. Thank you.
Thank you for joining this CLM training today. To briefly summarize what we have covered, remember that all report names must be unique. If a name that you are trying to use already exists, the system displays an error message. Also, remember to check the My List checkbox if you wish these report results to appear in your My List along with the 26 preloaded reports. Additional questions may be referred to the OSD Help Desk at 888-627-8283.